Cool. We have started recording, and there's going to be Lord of the Rings music in the background for ambiance. Alright, we're playing Scoundrel in the Deep. This is Colin's first time playing Scoundrel in the Deep.
This is a dear, beloved game of mine.
So, we've established that Colin is a Disney's Aladdin style scoundrel, but I'm not necessarily good.
You are, after all, a scoundrel.
Correct. The items that I have available to me are the Book of Matches. I've selected a Bedouin style scimitar, and I have the Blessing of the Dawn Priestess.
Now, you have attained your goal. You have the Ruby of the Deep. You have conquered the deep thus far to achieve its treasure. Why? Why did the scoundrel risk so much peril and harrowing experience to acquire the Ruby of the Deep?
Steve is a simple scoundrel and only wants riches, as he has grown up on the streets, poor and destitute, and thinks that by obtaining this ruby he will have a modicum of wealth that will elevate him to some sort of social power.
Oh, if Steve manages to escape the deep with the ruby, he will have wealth beyond imagination.
Excellent.
He will have more than anyone could ever want in an infinity of lifetimes.
Double excellent.
Steve has the Ruby of the Deep.
Okay.
Steve, however, must now escape the deep. What does the chamber where the ruby is look like? Is it a natural cave? Is it a room? Is it...
I'm imagining that most of the deep has been a combination of natural cave and then like rough-hewn tunnels that are man-made to reach the next chambers. Like, it was a natural cave system, and then to make it better interlinked, they used very rough-hewn, whoever they are, that the creators of this labyrinthian tunnel system to hide the ruby, have just used rough-hewn tunnels to make it more easily accessible, not necessarily navigable, but accessible.
Sure.
And then this placement of the ruby is the only like ornate place in the entire system. At the very bottom of the deepest depths of this cave is a perfectly circular chamber, perfectly flat, and there's like script and symbology throughout the floor, and it is a perfectly hemispherical dome over top, and there's like a simple magically lit candelabra in the middle hanging from the center, and then on a meter high perfectly cylindrical pedestal is the ruby.
Wonderful.
In the center of the room.
You have conquered the deep and acquired its prize. You have the ruby. It is in your hands.
Yep.
Now, you must escape.
Alright.
But peril lurks in the deep.
Alright.
As you have your prize in your hand and begin to take steps, leaving, this is when you begin to notice.
Things begin to go awry.
This candelabra casts no shadow. This pedestal has no markings of tools.
Yep.
Things are wrong. Things are wrong. Things are wrong. The words come off the walls and attack you.
Okay. I begin to flee the room the direction that I came in. There's a door on the other end. I imagine that the words are still following me. And so, do I have spells that I can say?
Do you?
Sure. Yeah. I have a simple ward of protection, and I utter the words in an ancient language and thrust my hand backwards. Damn.
I think that counts. You uttered words in the language and you thrust your hand backwards. Tell us more. This match is yours.
Okay.
You have succeeded.
All right. I succeeded. Yay.
I
Decent start.
firmly believe that you gave a solution to this issue.
I thrust my hand backwards, and the ward emanates from my hand, and for a moment it halts the words that are now attacking me, the script that has come alive.
You, with this barrier, block the words from approaching your physical body, but it cannot stop them from accosting your ears. Your body is safe. The words
The music picked up, dude.
The words enter your ears and rattle in your brain. We did not build this place to hide it from you. We built this place to hide it from all.
But damn, I want that ruby.
What does the next room look like? You've left this perfectly hemispherical chamber with no markings of tool except for the words engraved on the walls. And now that the words have left the walls, no markings of tool whatsoever in the room. The candelabra is out.
Candelabra is out. Now it is very dark.
The moment that you took the ruby, the candelabra was out.
Oh shit. I don't think. Do I have a torch?
No.
No.
You have.
It is very dark now.
You have matches. What is this next room?
This next room is a natural cave of water has over a very, very long time eroded what is igneous rock, not metamorphic, but just pure, continental igneous rock of, ancient Precambrian crust. That's how deep down we are.
Sure.
Into bedrock, and
We're approaching the foundation of the entirety of the planet.
Sure. Yeah. And so it's not like a limestone cave that you'd see in when you go to Kentucky or whatever, but this is just kind of somehow this was a natural vacuum, quote unquote, in a igneous formation, and over time through cracking of stone and millions of years there has somehow water has seeped in and hewn out a space. So it is a very bizarre cave. But it is a cave nonetheless, and on the opposite side of this room, not necessarily straight ahead, but up and to the left, around a bend, is the next rough-hewn tunnel to get to the next chamber.
But before you can get to that next chamber, peril lurks.
Alright, next challenge.
There is water in
Yes.
this room.
Yes.
Water has carved this room out. Let's see. Dripping, 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 dripping. The entirety of your reality is threatened to be consumed by dripping.
I attempt to thrust the thought from my mind. I have to maintain my hold on reality. I have to get back to the surface. I know that I have the ruby now. The ruby is true. I have it in my hand. I can feel it. And by knowing that it's true, I still have a grasp on reality. And though my mind feels like it's dripping, I can put the dripping from my mind and continue into the next chamber.
Yeah, of course.
Alright.
Wonderful. We forgot to give you an item from the last room.
Oh.
Might I suggest the warning of the deep? being that which you carry with you from
Okay.
the last room. But,
I just write that down.
yeah, you center your mind and anchor it on the ruby. I actually very much like the idea of you focusing yourself on this ruby and endeavoring what you can to prevent it from dripping away, but it does drip, but it doesn't drip away. Your mind drips into the ruby which you are holding in your hand, and thus by holding your mind in your hand, you are reminded of it and where you are. And what you have is your mind. What you have is reality.
Okay.
And in having reality, you are allowed to push further away from the deep.
Ooh.
What did you find in this room?
So we've exited the ruby room
Mm-hmm.
through a tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're in Igneous Cave,
Yeah.
and I'm supposed to find something in here?
Yes,
I guess.
in each time that you succeed,
Mm-hmm.
you will have an item. Or whether that item be a tangible thing, like your sword, or a more metaphorical thing, such as your
Okay.
blessing or warning.
The thing that I have gained in this room is, like a redoubt of confidence in myself, that I am me, and that, like, I don't know, the opposite of an ego death by drugs, of like,
But conviction of purpose.
yes, okay, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I know what I must do. That is my goal.
Yeah. Put that down.
I have to make it out.
You
So
have-
I have gained a conviction of purpose.
Yes.
I will put that below Warning of the Deep. Of course, Concerning Hobbits theme begins playing as I write down conviction of purpose.
Certainly.
Dude, that tin flute.
You have entered the next chamber
Ooh.
through the tunnel passages. Or would you like the tunnel passages to be? It is up to you. What is the next room?
I guess like this next room, there was like a slight waterfall or like trickle of water coming down, and now the rock is very much different. Like, we have exited the igneous Precambrian shield. Like, this is like where two continents are meeting basically.
Mm-hmm.
And sliding across each other.
Mm.
And so this is now definitely like limestone and metamorphic. Previously sedimentary and now metamorphic rock. Because we're still very far down. And this is like where the water was definitely trickling in and then like kind of eroded through the limestone and found this weird crack up against the igneous rock, and the igneous rock, you know, like there was a pool in that previous room and water just went somewhere. Nobody knows. Some geophysicist will have to figure out where that water goes into the depths of the earth.
No, magicians will tell you they know where it goes.
Mm.
It goes to feed the thirst of the world. For the world hungers and thirsts just as we all do.
Okay, I'm cool with that. And now we're in like this limestone style cave of like your very typical like stalactite, stalagmite, dripping columns of rock, and it's echoey and bloop, kind of off in the distance.
Okay.
And I'm making my way towards the exit of this room to continue back to the surface.
But peril lurks in the deep. There is a waterfall in this room.
Yes.
The waterfall is a steady and constant crash of elements against one another.
Mm-hmm.
Ever shifting, ever changing.
Water versus earth.
Ever insistent water against the naturally insistent nature of earth and stone. This waterfall has not changed rate or pace in longer than anyone has ever even thought that history could be recorded or pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
This water has not changed pace before the Titans, or even something that was on the precipice of existing. And this water continues to not change pace.
That match failed the light, by the way. It started
water.
to and then fizzled.
The water holds its exact, constant, and steady rate.
I feel like I'm being absurdly lucky. Alright. Waterfall remains.
As it ever has and ever shall, unchanged, pressing deeper into the earth than even the earth understands.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next room like?
I feel like I have reached like a roughly spiral and twisting with lots of double back, like a sort of roughly hewn stone labyrinth. Like this was the spot that most people would have gotten lost had they found this cave in the first place and made it through the trials that I'm about to backtrack through. But this one is the one where like the creators of which were like, yeah, they'll definitely get lost in this infinite maze. Seemingly, well, it might actually be infinite maze, but there is a, roughly hewn stone labyrinth now. And I'm backtracking through it.
But peril lurks in the deep. Labyrinths are made not but for one purpose, to confuse and confound. Mm-hmm. Labyrinths also were initially made to contain.
Ooh. Should have brought that ball of twine.
This labyrinth contains...
Do I get something from the last room?
Oh, yeah.
Not really.
You do not.
Okay.
Because there was no peril to overcome.
There was no peril to overcome, so I get nothing from the previous room.
Correct.
Okay.
But as said, this labyrinth was made to contain not only secrets and darkness and those foolish enough to enter. This labyrinth was made to contain that which guards it and lives within. You managed to avoid on the way in. Now, it has found your markings.
Oof.
It approaches, rushing, crushing towards you. It's bellowing, its horns, its loud anger coming at you. What do you do?
I draw my scimitar and see the beast rushing down towards me, and in the inky blackness, I shout, by the blessing of the dawn, in rushes a new day! Be alight with the promise of a new day! And my sword lights on fire. And I fucking stab it, I guess. I mean, like, there's like a blinding light, and it stuns the creature, and then my sword is on fire, and I thrust it into its belly as it leaps at me.
Wonderful.
Wait for the opening.
So now,
I have to cross off.
No.
No?
You do not. I say this because you did not expend it. If you had expended it, you would be blowing out the match immediately. You continued to explain and push forward. You have not expended it. You have, at this moment, used tools to your advantage. If you want to use an item, simply blow out the match next time and cross it off. But because you continued to explain and use it, you simply used the tools which are at your disposal. Like any good tool, it can be used until it is broken.
Okay.
You have not broken
So
these
now I
tools
have
yet.
like a flashlight sword, basically.
No.
Or no.
Not
it's
anymore.
So I slayed the beast, but like killed it, but the flame went out when I thrust in. Okay.
Exactly. Unfortunately, you have but one source of light, and that is these matches. You may not acquire a source of light other than these matches.
Okay.
This is a conceit of the deep.
Alright.
The beast, as it crumples onto you, its expression, the brief expression that you can see as your sword flashes in it, it is of fury and then of horror and pain, and the last thing that you see is acceptance and gratitude.
Ooh.
You have slayed this beast, but you also have freed this beast.
Okay.
I'm sure you managed to find your way back to whatever markings you used to guide yourself through here. What did you find in this room that will aid you through the rest of your journey away from the deep? I have a suggestion if you don't have one.
Sure. Go ahead.
The gratitude of the beast.
Oh. That's an interesting suggestion.
I know.
Okay. We can roll with that.
I think that it seems good.
So
If
now
you
I
would like-
have the gratitude of the slain beast.
Mhm. You have completed 4 trials, correct?
Yes.
After this next one, you will be lighting, passing it to me. I will describe the peril and pass back to you.
Okay.
It is after this next one that things become a little bit more treacherous.
Ooh. Perfect music change.
Certainly is. Now that you have exited the labyrinthine depths, it took you longer on your way out than it did on your way in, because you were managing to navigate before with the benefit of your light source, being able to see easily the markings that you had made, the markings that others had made, the markings that you knew about, and the ones you had to create yourself. This time, though, you had to rely on your other senses, whether it be feel or smell or just your innate sense of direction and compass.
Okay.
But you have exited the labyrinth and entered the next room. What is this next room?
I am gonna turn the music down just a little bit so that, because I don't know how the balance is on the recording. We're gonna find out when we're done. Oops. That wire is pinched. Oops. I'm imagining this room is this is a natural cave, and there are a series of pitfalls in this room. Like, there's pits that, They definitely have a bottom, but how far down these pits throughout the room go, you have no idea. It's just blackness. You kicked a stone down one of them, but you never heard it hit the bottom on the way in.
Oh, it still is falling and ever will be. It shall never reach a bottom.
That's how magic works.
For necessarily for it to reach a bottom must exist.
Ooh, okay.
Now, as the many who have been careless have discovered, peril lurks in the deep. Over these endless pits, there was necessitation, of course, for a bridge to cross.
Okay.
This is a swaying plank rope bridge. As you step onto the bridge and continue walking across, the vertigo strikes, but it's not the vertigo which is your danger. It's not even the swaying of the bridge which is the danger. The bridge begins to slide. The bridge is falling. Someone has cut it. Something has cut it. It is not stable.
The bridge is falling. I imagine that it has been cut from behind me by the deep. And so I'm sprinting across the bridge as much as I can while it still holds. And then, oh, that match went out on its own.
You have fallen.
Uh-oh.
I require this match.
Okay.
You have fallen. That said, you have not fallen far. You have fallen. You managed to grab at the edge of the rope bridge. And by some twist of fate, and whether or not you realize or recognize now some twisted fate, your body swings into a cave eaten in the side of this pit.
Okay.
And you are flung into it as...
kind of like a slingshot.
Yes, very much so. And you begin to slide in this hole hewn into the stone. However, as is not realized at first but becomes quite apparent, you are sliding, but you are not sliding down. You are sliding up as though propelled, but there is no propulsion.
Where?
Up.
Yeah, but how am I,
Up.
obviously I'm just sliding up.
You are sliding up.
Okay.
That is what is happening right now. It is confounding and confusing to you, but you are sliding up.
Hey man, up is up.
Whether or not that is a good thing stands to be seen.
Steve doesn't know that.
For the next 5,
Okay.
when I ask,
I have the light.
pass it to me. I will describe the peril and pass it back to you.
Alright.
Now, I will let you know when to light. The first 5 rooms were yours to describe. The next 5 rooms are mine.
Okay.
Your sliding eventually stops. You have not exited this space, but you are not sliding, neither forwards nor backwards, up nor down, left nor right. You are in this tunnel, you are in this cave, you are in this paradox. And, as always, peril lurks in the deep. Please light the match. it is becoming ever apparent to you that you cannot and will not escape this place. Your movement is restricted, you cannot go anywhere. Moving forward takes you backward, moving backward, forward.
Steve is adept at... Oh, shit. Match went out.
It did.
So that one goes to Rick.
How does Steve fight this? He does successfully get to move, but... We'll come to that but when time comes.
Okay.
Let's hear about Steve's...
You said forward is back, backward is forward. Steve tries moving the opposite of what he would normally do. And while it is highly confusing, left foot makes right foot makes left foot, backwards makes forwards, forwards makes backwards. Steve continues the mental gymnastics of doing the opposite, and it's progress. It's very, very slow progress, but it's progress nonetheless. And holds the goal that I have at least obtained the ruby. I can do this.
Steve,
I have my conviction of purpose.
You do. You manage to work your way out of this space, and it is difficult and stressful. Your brain is having to work in ways it never knew.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is having to work in ways it can't. But you must make it so to escape the deep. There is no other option. You exit this tunnel. However, you feel some of your mind, as you had reined it in before, it was necessary to let your mind drip some now. For a mind which is rigid couldn't do the things that yours just did. And that rigidity was beneficial to you before.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment it harmed you. And that fluidity was beneficial to you in that moment, but who knows how it may harm you.
Okay.
So, Steve has made it out of that space. And he has come into a room that he can feel, because of course he can't see.
Mm-hmm.
He can feel is vast. As his footsteps proceed, he begins to recognize that...
A significant echo.
Oh, yes, there is a significant echo, and as he approaches, he then begins to realize that there are smells in this room which are not natural. There are smells of metal and oil and smells even of habitation, smells of civilization.
Oh.
Please light a match.
Sorry,
These
that was a bad
trappings of society begin to pull at Steve. They begin to lure him. Others have lived here. Why can't and shouldn't I? The sounds, smells, tastes even fill his senses. He is drawn.
Steve wants nothing more to be accepted into society, but he knows that this would be a false society, as it is deep underground, away from the pleasures of in the warmth of the sun, where true life exists. While there is life that can exist in caves, he wants the life that he knows and is the most easily accessible, and that is by the warmth of the sun on the surface of the earth.
Beautiful. Utterly beautiful. The siren's call of scent and sound of everything holds no pull over you. Yeah?
That's right. Hell yeah, music.
The laughter that you hear holds no joy. The food that you smell your grandmother's stew. You know, however, to consume it will nourish you none.
Would be my doom even. There are no green things in this space. This civilization would be alive.
The calls to you, which you know are not to you, but they are to you, fall on ears you force deaf. And you exit this space. As you do, you come to what seems at first to be a dead end, but feeling around, you can see that there are, not see, well, as much as anyone's hands can see. The hands of the blind can see and read books. Your hands see and read the language of ropes and pulleys and climbing. You can tell that this is a wall designed to be ascended.
Did I get anything from that last room?
You did? What did you get?
I got there was conviction of purpose. And while that place is of nature, I would say like a conviction of paradise or like a conviction of green spaces. An assurance of, like, I know that the life for me is not in a cave, but is on the surface of the earth. Even if that would be on the ocean or in the mountains or in a desert or in a jungle or in a forest.
How about
it's somewhere on the surface of the earth?
How about this? The lure of the true light of the sun.
Look at us fucking roughly people here. Okay. Hang on, I gotta stand up for a second because my legs are falling asleep.
Sure.
Bad circulation. Okay. Alright. Keep talking.
So,
I'm just getting my legs to not
as
suck.
said, your scoundrel has discovered a wall which is meant for ascent.
Mm-hmm.
He has found the apparatus required to climb this wall.
Alright.
And I'm sure, knowing that this must be his way out, proceeds to climb, unless I'm mistaken.
Yep. I'm climbing up.
Wonderful.
I want to get out of this place, man.
As you are climbing,
I have the ruby.
you have the ruby. It is tucked safely away.
I made it through the weird backwards room and the labyrinth and slayed that weird beast. Whatever it was. I'm on my way out.
You climb and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb. It is a difficult climb. It is by no means impossible. Others have done it. You are doing it.
But it is nonetheless arduous, to say the very least.
Certainly. However, it is not the climb that holds danger. As necessary for this climb, you are putting your fingers into cracks into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Places where it is broken, and these cracks reach deep into stone. You know not where they go. The cracks know not either where they go, but because they are cracks, they are open, and in being open, they may hold. And
is this some Junji Ito shit?
I don't know.
The Curse of the Ashigara Fault. Have you read that comic?
No. Maybe I'll have to after this. Anyway,
You should
right
read
now,
it. You should
there's
read
peril
it
at
after
hand.
this. Like the match?
Please. As I said,
Grab.
I'll grab from here. These cracks can hold, and out of these cracks you hear skittering and scritching insects.
Ugh.
They pour over your body. They are not biting you yet, but they will soon.
They will begin biting me. Okay. It's just bugs. It's just bugs. You can keep climbing. It's just bugs. Fuck. Match went out. So I think that one goes to you.
I think it does.
I have 5. You have
3.
3.
It is just bugs. And being just bugs, they, as I said, skitter and scramble and scatter all over you.
Mm-hmm.
And you swat and swipe them away, brushing them off of your body frantically and fervently whilst maintaining your grip and hold on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And as you swipe and sweep these bugs off of you, they continue pouring out from these cracks and continue pouring out from these cracks. And it is at this time that you notice that they haven't bit you. They haven't done anything to you. They have crawled and crawled and crawled and crawled and crawled, climbed you as you have climbed this wall. And all of a sudden, the moment that the bugs have covered you and covered your existence, at once, they are gone. But you know not where they went, for they were on you. Are they in you? Are they gone? Are they away? Have they found the cracks in your body as they had the cracks in the wall? They were searching for an opening.
Oh, I hate it so much.
Did they find one? You do not know. They are gone now. But where are they?
Okay. We don't know where the bugs went.
You have ascended the wall,
I have ascended the wall.
and the bugs are gone.
Bugs are gone.
Where are they?
I don't know. I don't think I'm capable of discerning where the bugs have gone just yet.
And that is unsettling.
Alright. So I'm going to write down
You didn't gain anything from this.
just unsettling bugs.
Yeah, you're unsettled by bugs and your mind is starting to drip. Were there bugs? Were there bugs? Were
Or was
there
it
bugs?
just the deep.
Were there
Plains
bugs?
of
Where are
fire?
they? Where did they go? These are thoughts you cannot push from your mind. Your conviction is on you, but you are not the bugs. Are you the bugs? Are the bugs in you? Are
See?
you the bugs? Where are the bugs? These are
Rick knows me all too well of Colin does not like bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most bugs. There are only some bugs that I tolerate. And very few of those that I tolerate that I think are cool.
And where are the bugs?
Oh, that bug paranoia.
It is a question which will
Not
rest.
not gonna like that bug paranoia.
Mm-hmm. It is a question which, unsettled, rests in your mind, leaving you restless
Mm-hmm.
as it settles into your unsettled mind.
Okay.
But you've ascended the wall.
I'm up the wall. I'm up the bug wall.
You're up the bug wall. Or were there bugs? Where did the bugs go? Let's see, I believe I have 2 more rooms, yes. And then I begin to light the matches once more.
Okay.
Don't-
So it's 5 and 5.
Yes, don't worry about where I grab the match. I will grab the match and my fingers are used to heat and burning. It is
Yeah,
okay.
I just can start.
No,
Like my
don't
fingers.
worry not about it. But As you've ascended this wall, you hear something approaching. It sounds as though metal squeaking on metal, growing faintly but louder and faster at first until it approaches much significantly faster and begins slowing back down until squeaking and screeching to a stop very close to you.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming, of course, that this is something meriting investigation, you approach your way over and feel something hard with your foot, and you kick and step at it, and it is not very tall. It is obviously made of metal. It resounds as you kick it. There's one
Bonk.
directly adjacent to it. Also metal, thin metal rails in the dark. It is now you hear the smell of, you do actually, yes, you do. You hear the smell of grease in the air on your hands. Where are the bugs? And the cart makes itself apparent to you.
Okay.
You know that this cart leads on a track away from here. This is the one guiding sign you have to take you away from the deep. You did not encounter this on your way down. You know that someone made this.
Yep.
Someone made it for a purpose. And it must take you away from here. I'm assuming that you're climbing in, because, of course, you know that it must take you away from here.
I do not trust the cart.
That's fine. You should never trust anything that the deep offers to you.
I don't think I would want to climb into the cart because I don't trust it.
That's fair. Unfortunately.
Oh, you have mandated that I climb into the cart. Okay.
Correct.
Alright.
Unfortunately. You are wise to not trust the cart. You should never trust anything that the deep has and offers, but unfortunately, there is only foolishness by leaving the dark, by entering the dark and the deep, and it is by foolishness that one can escape.
Alright. Guess I don't really have a choice in this. I'm getting into the cart.
Unfortunately, no. It is my turn to describe your rooms and thus your
Okay.
perils. This cart is your room.
Ooh, okay.
As you climb into the cart, what does the wind smell like as the cart begins rolling of its own accord as soon as you are fully in? Rolling in the right direction, of course. What does the wind smell like?
I begin to smell. I more or less sense that my ears pop, and the air starts to become less musty and dense. And I sense that even though it might not feel as though I'm traveling upwards, I'm getting closer to the surface. And now I can smell extremely faint hints of fresh air, desert sand, and maybe a hint of grass.
But, as you said before, you do not trust the cart, and it is wise
I do not trust the cart.
It is wise to not trust the deep, because peril lurks in the deep. Please light the match.
Okay.
The air gets less musty, significantly clearing up. And, well, it clears up in a very comfortable way for you. It starts to get too thin. It starts to become difficult for you to breathe. It starts to make your lungs burn with pulling in oxygen, but just as fast as that difficulty occurs, does it disappear? Or was it ever there? Was it difficult to breathe? Did my lungs burn? Where are the bugs? That match is yours.
Alright, 1, 2. Oops. 5, 6. Okay.
So you have 6 matches.
I do have 6 matches.
There are 4 more matches on this space.
Alright.
Now,
What if you don't reach 5 and I don't reach 10? Is it just whoever, we just keep going?
no, we will. We have enough matches to manage that. I had just pulled out the exact amount of matches before, but you'd used one to light the candle dust.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
because
You need extra.
there are enough here for you to potentially get to 9 while I achieve 5. There are enough here for you to achieve 10 while I achieve 4.
Alright.
So, the air becomes more comfortable, it becomes more breathable, and the cart reaches its destination, but its destination is not the exit to the deep.
Okay.
It brings you to a room, to a space, to an enclosure which hums.
Okay.
And not only humming, but thrumming. You can feel the energy in this room. You can feel the power. You can feel
There's something going on in this room.
the air before was musty, and
Yeah.
the air thinned and became clear. It thinned too much, or did it? But the air in this room is positively electric,
Ooh.
and as you push your
I
way,
have to light this one.
yeah, that will be the one that you like. Not yet. I'll let you know.
I did rearrange, so if you could put them over here so I don't mix them up with...
Okay. So,
I don't want to mix up lit matches with unlit matches.
yes. The
There's going to be random Harris noises on this recording. It's going to be great.
it's very good. Now, as you make your way through the room, the air thrumming and humming, electric, starts to become more and more difficult to move. You don't notice it at first. It's something which slowly accrues and builds over time.
But there is a force in this room.
And this room is of the deep, and peril lurks in the deep. Please, light this match.
Alrighty.
Unfortunately,
That's 3 strikes.
that is 3 strikes.
Did not light.
And
Rick gets a match.
no, I do not get the match. The deep gets the match. This air, this energy, this force, this power holds itself against you, pushing itself against you, stopping, not allowing you to move, no matter how much you will yourself, no matter how much thought you have. This is a wall of power in the air itself, which does not let you move.
In seemingly infinite strength, there's no way that I can overcome it.
Unfortunately, no, not
Okay.
without,
Yep.
as you have before, sacrificing some part of yourself to the deep to overcome this. What have you sacrificed to overcome this? Earlier, you sacrificed your mental stability by forcing your brain to work in ways it couldn't. Most recently, you don't know where the bugs are.
I think now I am very physically fatigued.
Yeah.
Like, this has sapped me to the bones of strength. And I will continue, but it is going to be much slower going from this point on, and I am bodily tired.
I think what happened here is you expended quite literally all of your body's available energy struggling against this wall, and once you could struggle no further, you passed out. You did not die, of course, but you passed out, and
until I could recover.
You have awoken, and the energy is gone, but you know that this energy being gone also has pulled something of you as well.
A significant amount of energy from me.
Yes, what that energy is, what form it will take it. You know
it's energy.
That the threat, whatever it is not here, but it is sated.
Okay.
For were it not, it would still be present, pushing, pulling, taking, forcing. But it's gone now.
Okay.
And with that, what does the next room you enter look like?
I have entered.
One thing of which I would like you to be aware.
Okay.
Remember, at any point you can burn your items to leave.
Oh, even the things that I've gained?
Yes. You can burn your items to, if you can
Overcome.
find a way to justify overcome a peril. You have more items than perils left. That is an option that you could take. I am not going to tell you that you can't, but it is an option that you can take. However, in doing so, you will leave with nothing but the ruby.
Alright.
And, well,
I mean, I get the ruby, but how empty a victory?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
We'll have to explore and see.
Oh, so like it's not just the 2 physical items that I have, but
Yeah,
also
you can
these
burn-
4 things that I've...
You can burn the gratitude
Oh,
of the beast. You can
okay.
burn the warning of the deep. You can burn your
Right?
lure of the true light of the sun.
Yep. Okay.
Any of those things may be used to overcome the perils of the deep,
Okay.
but they are burned. They are used.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that previously, so
No.
now we're rolling.
Yeah. So,
This next room is a hewn out temple space that's like, it's not quite cathedral size,
sure.
but it's definitely like a good sized chapel that has been hewn
Yes.
into this space. And it was of some religious aspect and significance to whomever created the tunnel system that connects these caves that they hid the ruby in.
One thing that is important to remember in these times, you can't see this, right? So, which of your senses is informing you of this? Or is it just something that you can know and
It sounds
feel?
like an open space. Again, not quite as vast and cavernous as that one a couple bits ago. But like it's echoey, and I bump into something at shin level, and I kind of reach forward, and I'm like, oh, this is a bench, like this is a pew. And I go forward a little bit, and there's another pew, and so I'm following the pews back to the back of the chapel, the sanctuary space.
Wonderful.
And I know that I came from like the chancellery, like somewhere up by the altar. That's where I entered originally, and that's where that's where I exited when I found the space coming down. But now I have, or maybe I didn't find it on my way down, but like
Where are the bugs?
Ooh, we don't know where the bugs are right now.
More than just that, where are the bugs is a reminder that...
I've been to a church before. If I go to the back of the church, then there's usually an exit. That is where I'm headed. I'm following the pews back.
Wonderful. There's something also in your mind that tells you this is a holy and sacred place.
Mm-hmm.
Or, rather...
It may be cursed. It may be...
As, of course,
bad chapel.
peril lurks in the deep.
Okay.
This is a place of power. This is a place of spiritual and religious significance. That significance makes itself apparent and forces itself onto you. You are wrong and should not be here. That which you have needs to be contained.
I know I shouldn't be here. That's why I'm leaving. I quickly make my way to the back of the chapel. I know that I should leave. I have with me the conviction of the ruby. I have with me the conviction of my purpose. I still have the blessing of the goddess, and I will use that conviction and the blessing.
Okay. You only need to use one. Pick one.
Oh, well, I don't. I'm still burning the match. Still burning the match.
Yeah. Pick one. 'Cause if
Conviction
you're-
of purpose.
Great.
I'm just gonna.
Great. You've
Alright.
burned your conviction of purpose. You know why you are here, and you've used it to fight off this force and presence, but...
Like, I'm already leaving, dude. You didn't have to come at me.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's toast.
Yeah. Your conviction of purpose has been used and spent on this thing. Your conviction of purpose, and it is something which now rests in your mind that it wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
It was talking to that which you hold in your hand at that point. It was in your pouch. Why is it in your hand? It was in your pouch. Why is it in your hand? It was not talking to you. It was talking to... You poured yourself into this before. You poured your mind into it. It is from this ruby that you gained your conviction, and was it talking to you? Was it talking to you? Where are the bugs?
Spoopy Ruby.
But you are leaving. You are sure that you are leaving. You are sure that you are leaving? You're sure that you're leaving. Are you sure that you're leaving?
We're gonna find out, Rick.
You've
We're gonna find out.
You've burned your conviction of purpose. What does your next chamber look like?
Man, I'm running out of ideas for a cave.
It's okay, it doesn't have to be a cave. It could be something. Remember, this was all, as you established before, hewn by people. What might people have made? Anything at all.
Let me think for a second.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm not sure of this place, this next place that I'm in. We just exited a temple / sanctuary that is deep underground. Somehow. And this next place is like a grand antechamber to that temple. And it is not as nicely hewn as the temple or the sanctuary. And in It is roughly circular and roughly dome-shaped. It's still echoey, but not nearly as echoey as the sanctuary. And as I follow along the wall, there are like alcoves with what I can only surmise as statues within them, or like busts, and they're not necessarily statues of men or statues of animals, but there's just statues and sculptures within the walls,
And
regularly spaced around this circular room.
the statues live and lurk in this antechamber in the walls. And the antechamber and the walls lurk in the deep, and peril lurks in the deep.
Hey buddy,
We're almost done here.
we're doing some game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
talk to
either-
you when you're done then.
I'm either 3 away from winning or 1 away from losing. Oh shit!
Either way, we both have won.
Yeah.
Okay. These statues in the wall, they
Ooh, that was a good one.
begin a song.
Oh.
And this song is powerful and overwhelming, and it pushes itself past you and through you.
This song is powerful, but I know of the songs of that are on the surface of With My Friends. Fuck, this one burned out. Alright. That's 5.
That is. You know of
The music was too moving.
the music, the song, it it has a beautiful opening melody to it. It is soft and sweet, something which could never ever emerge from stone mouths, something which could never emerge from mouths of flesh, something which could only come from something that is able to access
Divine.
a plane beyond physical.
Mm-hmm.
It is coming straight from somewhere that is directly tapped into vibration and resonance and harmony and melody and discord and discord and discord.
Oh no!
The melody, the music, the wonder starts off light and simple. You don't even recognize at first that it's there. It mixes with your footsteps and makes your footsteps more than they are. It fills all of your senses and makes them more than they are, more than they ever could be. And it makes everything about you more than it could ever be, and it starts to pull. It starts to take you away from how and where and why you are walking. You have with you the warning of the deep. You have the gratitude of the slain beast. You have the lure of the true light of the sun, and this music, this vibration, this frequency manages to find those in you and draw those in you, draw you into them, and in drawing you into them, draw them out of you.
Oh man.
It is unfortunate that just prior to encountering this music, you burned your conviction of purpose.
Oh!
This music, as it draws these out of you and draws you into them and draws all of it out of this world, it starts to come back to a steady thrum, the melody and harmony and discord, and everything pulls into a steady thrum that, as it begins to materialize sounds much more like drip, 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 drip.
I've been lost to the deep.
You have always been lost to the deep.
No.
Where are the bugs? Unfortunately, our scoundrel did not make it out this time. However, maybe another scoundrel will succeed some other
Alright.
time. Thank
I don't
you
know,
for playing.
Did Steve hang on to his blessing of the Dawn Priestess, at least as he passed from the material into the immaterial
Oh,
and was lost into the deep?
um,
Any solace for our fallen anti-hero?
what do you think?
Well, the symphonian in me appreciates that I met my end at the form of music. So, even though I lost my conviction of purpose, and my warning of the deep, the gratitude of the slain beast, and the lure of the true light of the sun, which I capitalized, the
Of
true
course,
light
of
and
course.
the sun,
Mm-hmm.
as one should, that was drawn for me, I guess, as I stopped existing materially and passed out of this plane.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my final thoughts are, well, I got the ruby, and I had the blessing, and I activated the blessing. Well, that's a weak way of putting that, but that's the only one that I can come up with off the top of my head.
See, the thing about a blessing is that a blessing is, in essential, a marking. A blessing is something which recognizes that you have been recognized.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, had you had light, had you been able to see, you would have known that the cathedral you had been in before, the cathedral which was so angry at presence within it, was the cathedral of the Dawn Priestess. And, well, yes, you had the blessing of the Dawn Priestess. As you had said before, you poured yourself into the ruby, knowing that the ruby was what was keeping you there. The ruby, what was keeping you moving forward and ever forward. You had the blessing of the Dawn Priestess, but the ruby where you had contained yourself did not.
I put too much reliance into the ruby and not enough reliance into myself.
Your corporeal form will persist ever in that antechamber. Because, of course, you have been blessed. A new alcove opens. And you are... Well, it's not you anymore, because you no longer are there. You are within or without the ruby. It is hard for you to know because you can't do much of anything anymore.
But now a new alcove is formed in the regular spacing around the circular room.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve steps into the alcove and assumes his new role.
Oh, Steve is long, far,
It is
past
not,
gone.
I mean, it's not Steve anymore. It's the body formerly known as Steve.
That which once was. Adding and joining its, well, I cannot say his anymore,
It's
voice to the choir which
inhabits the antechamber of the cathedral.
and all of everything within and without physicality. It is quite peculiar to you because you now are a part of the song which is emanating from your old mouth, but it is not your mouth anymore, and you are not a song. You're not much of anything.
It is the music's and the music's alone. Music's both plural and possessive.
Unfortunately. But that is a Scoundrel in the Deep.
Alright.
Thank you for playing. I had a lot of fun. This was phenomenal.
My entire right leg is asleep. It is awful.
Let's cut it off.
No, I need it. Alright. That was a game.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, Harris! I lost as soon as you came back in. I'm kidding. That was good. Didn't really lose.
Yeah, as I said, the Scoundrel may have been lost to the deep, but...
My eyes were really adjusted to the dark, and now even my computer screen with the night light turned on is painful.